Give you a good view of the fenland landscape, flat as a pancake for miles and miles and miles. Absolutely nothing. Nothing at all. No mountains, hills, anything.
This is teasel, which makes for an excellent hand drill spindle. It can also be used as a dye and colouring, which gives a blue and purple colour. I'm going to show you how to process and collect it. It's easily identifiable by those spikes at the top which go around the big ball part. Look for a big one which is about 4 or 5 foot high. It will give a thicker spindle. Trim off the top, we don't need that. It's too thin to use as a hand drill, it'll just snap. We don't need it, it's all excess. Pull off some of the side shoots as well. Tidy it up a bit. Pull it up by the root. This time of year, the root's gone, all of the energy's gone to the top to produce the flowers. Cut off the root, it's rotten, you don't need it. It's just mucky. You can see how straight it is. You don't need a huge amount of work to prepare it for a spindle. Trimming up some of the side shoots. Cut along the shoots and then you won't split the stem. And that's teasel. Great for a hand drill.
Well, it looks like we've got a problem. We can't get to the campsite. Best get out of the work gear then. Didn't take too long at all. Backhoe do saws as well, so like the Laplander, they do these lovely D-shaped saws which are really, really good and really sharp for taking out obstacles like that.
Just found one of my favourite wild edibles. That's called hairy bittercress. That's what it says on the tin. Tastes just like cress. It's beautiful stuff. Abundant here. Absolutely delicious. Go great in a salad. There's a few other things around here as well. Let's see what else we can find.
At this time of year, stinging nettles are in their best as well. They're really tender and succulent. And when I look for eating stinging nettles, make sure there isn't any pigeon mess on there. Try and avoid pathways so dogs or anyone else hasn't moved up against them. And some of the nicest stuff is just picked out of the top. And not getting stung by it. If you rough them up a bit and you push them this way, then you won't get stung. Just have a little nibble. I've got quite a lot of protein in them, you can really taste it. Absolutely delicious. If you've never tried nettles before, it's really worth having a go. There's all sorts of recipes. It's nice.
When you're eating wild food, you've got to be really, really careful about what you're doing and have a really, really good confidence in the food that you're picking and the ID. So take this plant for example. Oh, come on. Member of the carrot family, called Conium maculatum, or hemlock. You can see it's hemlock. Let's try and get this focused nicely. Here we go. Wait a sec. Oh, excellent. You can see it's hemlock by the speckles. All of those speckles along there. Conium maculatum, hemlock. Deadly poisonous. It's a strong anaesthetic. So you'll go numbing your feet first and it'll work all the way up the body, slowly shutting off the body. With the consciousness, one of the last things to go. So you'll know all about it. And I have heard and read that 1 gram per kilo can kill you. So if you weigh, say, about 70 kilos, which I'm about, 70 grams, it's probably about that much, maybe. Conium maculatum, poison hemlock.
Trying out the new Superlight DD tarp. I changed it because the original 3x3 was too heavy and bulky for the pack. The new tarp was holding up really well against the wind. It feels a lot thinner than the DD 3x3 and a bit more rubbery and a bit more elastic. Also feels a little bit like it might be easier to break, but given it was pulled around with the wind, it held up really, really well. Once you've filtered the water, all you need to do is bring it to a boil. That'll kill off everything that's nasty in there, make it drinkable. April is a good time of year to collect the cattail shoots. They're just coming up and at their most succulent. You can also collect the rhizomes, which are growing laterally across, and you just follow them out with your hands. The water's not too cold either, surprisingly. Made absolutely sure the water's boiled now, so it's sterilised in there and everything's good. So just add a few of the succulent tips of the stinging nettle and cook for a little bit longer to make a nettle tea infusion. Whilst the tea is infusing, I'm going to roast some of the cattail roots. They've got a protective outer layer which acts as a fireproof, so I've just pushed away some of the ash, made a small depression, popped in the root, and now pushing the ash back over so it will roast it nicely. And then cover it up. Allow it to roast for say 15 or 20 minutes. You must cover it completely, otherwise oxygen will get to it and it will burn. The roots are quite nice. It's difficult to describe how it tastes. I think the longer you roast it, the more sugars are released and it becomes sweeter. It tastes a bit like potato or some sort of starchy food. Cattail is a really good foraging food. You can find it almost all year round and it's easily identifiable, and it's abundant as well. We found the shoots to be the most delicious part of it, and they're only available early spring. Hand drill friction fire is possible in the UK. You just got to choose the materials carefully. This is an elder spindle, dried out and used on a clematis hearth, using the traditional spinning down method. You can float technique, but this time it was too hard. I needed to get more downward pressure. Oh, looks like I might have an ember. Notice how the spindle's still smoking. Oh, I fell over. Now I'm just letting the ember combine and bind up itself so it holds when you drop it in the tinder bundle. Don't put the ember straight away in the tinder bundle, otherwise it will just fall through and fall apart. Give the ember a chance to stick together. Always bring the tinder bundle to the ember. If you try taking the ember to the tinder bundle, the chances are it will blow away in the wind. It's a small tinder bundle, but it's just practice. Tip the ember gently in. I'm gently blowing on the ember in the hope that it will catch the tinder bundle. And as it starts to catch, I'll fold over the tinder bundle, and that will place the ember right in the middle. Blow on it firm, but not too hard. You can watch where it's catching the tinder bundle. Blow on the tinder bundle upwind so you don't get a face full of smoke.